She brings serious business savvy, including selling over $160 million of her own clothing line on the home shopping network, turning viewers who weren't even planning to buy into loyal fans and repeat customers. As a certified speaking professional, she has spoken to audiences in 14 countries and has been in the Vistage speaker for more than 15 years. Caroline is a reinvention expert, a communication strategist, and someone who helps teams and organizations become more productive, better positioned, and yes, completely irresistible. She is also an unevil, stepmother to two fabulous young adults and a dog mom to the world's best golden retriever. She considers herself a Coloradian living in Denver for 20 years, and she's also the co-host of a very funny podcast, Another Day Above Ground. Please help me welcome with her presentation, Making People and Companies Irresistible, Reinvention of Strategies to Level Up Your Speaking Business. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the United States of America, please help me welcome Carolyn Strauss. Caroline, the platform is yours.
Oh, yay. What? The Oscar music doesn't play when I come on? Come on, you guys. No, I'm good. Hi, everybody. Thank you more than anything for your time and attention, because right now I just got back from Dublin last Saturday, and I went to the Reinvention Summit with 500 of the most cutting edge people understanding the rate of change and the rate of business right now. I mean, MasterCard Global was there. There were people from every area. And in fact, many of my friends from South Africa were there. And what I learned is that the three top things I learned is that the world is getting faster and faster, and we're not imagining it. Okay, I know we all know this, but if you actually look at the rate of change in 2019, we were living at a 4% rate of change, which meant you could expect some kind of epic change in the world, in technology or environment or politics or any of the areas of change in the world. And Navern, this is totally in line with what you speak on, right? We were at a 4% rate of change, meaning that every 2 to 2.5 months, you could expect some kind of an earthquake, right? Some kind of a change in your life and in your business. What our clients are dealing with now between 2019, and this is according to the Accenture Global Disruption Index, which you can look up, and 2024, we are now living, believe it or not, in a 200% disruption, meaning that you can expect a disruption every other day. And I'm talking about the business people, the people in the companies that we're working with, our clients, our coaching clients. They can expect something's going to happen every day. It happens every minute. Have you all noticed that you have plans with somebody and they cancel last minute? You hear about something on the news that changes. Right now, we are having a cluster, pardon my French, in the United States with our travel through Newark Airport. Most of us who travel internationally, Newark is, had to shut down a runway and has like 50% less air traffic controllers. I mean, it's insane. So point number one that I want us to pay attention to if we're looking at reinvention is we've got to stay ahead of this curve. And I don't want to scare anybody about having to take a run through the world, because we don't. We can do what Navern talks about and take a breath and stay centered and stay calm, but understand that everybody's dealing with that kind of disruption. The second thing I want to say is that it is time for rapid reinvention, which means that it is time to experiment. We cannot do, if you're doing the same speech or the same talk, or even presenting the same topic in the same context that you were a year ago when I was at PSASA in Johannesburg, if your talk is exactly the same, I want to invite you to experiment. Because look, an experiment's a risk. It's funny. It's why I put the question up, like, what are you afraid to do? Some of us know what works. I've been in this business for 30 years. I know it's shocking. I'm only 49 years old. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I am a child of the 1900s, but that's, a different story. So, what if we know what works, we want to stay with that because it's comfortable. And the companies and organizations and clients that we're working with want to stay in what's comfortable. But the fact is that the world is no longer a comfortable place, right? So we have to push the boundaries and take the risk of doing something experimental. So that's really the mindset that I wanted to share with you guys about reinvention. The concept of reinvention, which I've learned over the past 3 years, by the way, if you have any interest in learning it, you can go to Reinvention Academy. There's Dr. Nadia Jeksembayeva. Yes, that is her last name. She's from Kazakhstan originally. She actually founded this organization. There's some amazing talks there and information there that I want to share with you. But the mindset, anytime you hear somebody is say, well, when things get back to normal, do you guys ever hear anybody say, well, as soon as things get back to normal? Are your clients saying that? Are you saying that? Here's the thing, you guys, this is as slow as it's ever going to be. Don't freak, everybody breathe. This is as slow as it's going to be ever. This is normal. So this rate of change is normal. So what we want to do is look at what works. It's kind of like biomimicry, right? Like how I know you guys are going into fall and winter, which by the way cracks me up because it's going to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is something in centigrade. I haven't figured that out yet. But it's going to be really, really hot today in Colorado. It's going to be really chilly where you guys are because you're going into the fall, which I really think I should spend half the year. I should spend like May through October with you guys and then come back here October through, May. That would be good. But anyway, um, what we do when we plant is we look at what parts of the plants are still going to be viable going into the next season, and we peel away the dead leaves and the things that we don't need anymore. Right? That's literally what reinvention is. It's maintaining the life in the system. And there's one other definition that I learned that blew my mind, you guys, is that chaos is not the lack of order. Chaos is too many orders competing for attention at once. Chaos is not the lack of order. It's too many orders competing for attention at once. And when I learned that, I thought about Grand Central Station. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Grand Central Station, right? I've been to your airports, by the way. So I've been to your Johannesburg airport and your Cape Town airport. You've got a million people, right? Or thousands of people all going their own directions, and it looks like chaos. It's actually not. It's actually a bunch of orders happening at the same time. So that's first. Second, the other thing by the way, I want to give you the 3 things I promised in the email for this. Always deliver on the promise of what is advertised when you speak. That's a big speaking tip, right? I know a lot of us want to take what we want to deliver. Tim and I created the outcomes for this program while I was in Ireland a couple of weeks ago. We did a phone call. I don't know, it was like we were on the same time zone for a minute, and we figured out the outcomes. So the second outcome, the first outcome I promised you is the mindset of reinvention. That is, we need to experiment and we need to take risks and pare away what no longer works. Okay. Second, I promised you communication strategies that are going to help you. What I'm not seeing any of y'all doing is video email. So raise your hand if you're using video email when you reach out to a client who you worked with in the past or somebody, Tim, yay, thank goodness, right? Use video email, you guys. Who here is on Gmail? Who uses Google? Do you guys, most of you use Google as a platform? Excellent. There is an add-on to Google called Cloud HQ. It's free. It's a Google add-on. There is a video, like when I send an email, there's actually a little video camera that pops up when I'm writing my email that gives me an option to record a free video email. I have to tell you, I don't use it as much as I should either because, this takes an hour to be camera ready between us girls. You guys get that? Men, someday, next life, I'm going to come back as a man with Tim with no hair issues like Tim and just be able to just be on camera. It's not fair. This takes a while. But the days that I can be on camera, I'll throw on my camera. It always gets a response. So if you're waiting for a response from a client or you put in an RFP or a proposal, right, Brad? If you communicate with a video, you actually get known and they see who you are and they can feel your energy. Okay, so that's a communication strategy. That's number two. And then how do you stand out? Are you inviting people to talk about you the way you want them to talk about you? I am guilty of this more than anything. I have been confusing in my messaging for years. Oh, right? Don Cooper is shaking his head because he is one of my mastermind partners and a dear friend. Yeah, thanks, Don. Thanks for that. Don and I have been working together for years on this. And now, so people like, oh, Carolyn speaks on sales and she speaks on leadership and she speaks on team building and she speaks on communication. You know what? I just heard something recently that the more slashes you have after that, your name, I'm guilty of this too, the more diluted your message. The more slashes and the more commas, right? So, can we get clear about how we ourselves are irresistible? So, one of the things that I did, and I want to thank you guys, I'm actually going to take a quick look right here now. Oh my gosh, 18, 20, 24 of y'all did the irresistibility index. I cannot thank you enough for doing that. I'm actually going to show you what the results of that were. But now everything that I do is centered around the concept of irresistibility. Okay. So my question for you, because irresistibility, I came up with it, I figured it out. Irresistibility has 5 things that makes you irresistible. So I'm going to give you what they are, and I want you to think about what is it that which of these, because you guys did the index, which of these 5 things are you strongest in and weakest in? And I'm hoping, oh, perfect. Thank you for putting up the slide, Louie. Here they are. The fundamentals. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve? Who are you? What do you do? And who do you serve? Right? When I was on the Home Shopping Network, we made easy wear, easy care clothing for busy women so that after they got dressed in the morning, they didn't have to think about themselves for the rest of the day. That's who we were, what did we do, and who did we serve, and why did they care? Right? That was the fundamentals. Okay. If we were in a longer session, we'd also go into the fundamentals of running your business. Is your CRM the way it needs to be? Is your outreach needs to be? Is your process the way it needs to be? Okay. Next is future pacing. Can you help everybody you talk to in a conversation see their future with your help in it? That's what future pacing is. Future pacing is imagine it's a year from now and we chose to work together. Where will your life be in 1 year? Or future pacing, imagine we're at your conference and you've booked me to be your keynote speaker. What does your audience see, feel, do, be afterwards? And what kind of feedback do you want from them? Okay, does this make sense? Are you guys using future pacing? It's one of my favorite techniques. And it does help make you irresistible because people are like, oh, I have to have them. I have to have him. I have to have her because if I don't, my life won't be as good. Okay, next, there's only so much of you. There's only so much. You only have so much time, energy, attention, space in your calendar. So how do you make it scary for them to not play with you? And this is the one that I feel most guilty about, right? I have I don't want to make people feel badly, but there is an honesty to it. There's only one 13th of May on my calendar. If you want to book the 13th of May, you've got to book it now, or I'm going to be somewhere else. It may be at the gym. It may be out walking my dog, which, by the way, are very healthy choices to make. You've got to figure out if it's worth it to you to do something, but also make it so that if they don't book you, there's a little bit of a risk, again, in the not booking you. Make sense? Feedback. This is where video emails from other people matter. I'm actually going to be making an offer, and I told you guys that in the video that got sent out by Tim and Terry, I believe, before we started. And it's all about the feedback, right? People, it needs to be safe to hire you. It needs to be safe to work with you as a clinician. Right, Navern? It needs to be safe to work with you as a speaker. They need to know that you are amazing on stage and that you will deliver what you say you're going to deliver. And if it's the same speech that they can go watch on YouTube, they're no longer interested. I was just talking to a friend who runs an association of professional associations. And they've been listening, and they say if they can go to YouTube and see your whole speech, and you did it a year ago, they're not going to hire you. That's what's happening now in the US. But what the speeches and the videos on YouTube are going to show them is your skills on stage and your ability to engage the audience and your ability to change the audience. And what I've learned recently is that the first video on your YouTube page should be a full-length program. And I know that sounds crazy. We don't want to give it away. What meeting planners, professionals here in the States at least, are looking for, look, anybody can create a lovely 3 to 5 minute sizzle reel, right? We can all, pardon my French, not suck for 3 to 5 minutes, right? But can you be good? Can you hold an audience attention for 45 to 50 minutes? So please, if you have a wonderful reel that's long, and then of course have all of the little pieces and have the shorts and have the snippets and have the closed captioning and all of that, but make sure that you have what they need to hire you and make sure that there are testimonials in your YouTube. Okay, make sure video testimonials, because anybody can make up anything writing. Now, we're not to the place with AI yet where I'm qualified to make videos of my friends saying that I'm brilliant. That'll come soon, and it'll come, over a bottle of wine some night when I need some, attention. But the point is that video feedback is awesome. And then the final thing that makes you irresistible is fun. There's not enough fun in the world. I was speaking to a CEO of a company based in DC while I was outside during one of the coffee breaks in Dublin. And he and I were chatting, and he said, "It is so much fun talking to you." And I said, "Okay, amen." Because that's why people are going to hire you, because people aren't, do you notice that people, well, okay, I'm going to give a little caveat here. In the US, most people aren't walking around smiling anymore. I did find when I was in South Africa, that whole month that I spent down there with you guys, people smiled a lot more there than they do here. So you guys may have to level up your fun level, because it seems to me that everybody there is already fun. But how do you bring the fun? What is it that is your specific secret sauce that makes it fun to play with you? Okay, so actually, Louis, let's get rid of the slide, and we'll go to that one in a minute. So yeah. So now, can we just spend like 2 minutes, you guys? What are you hearing? Is there anything here that's new for you? Please, God, if there isn't, that's okay. Talk to me. Has anything come up while we're in this conversation? Because I know I have like 15, 16 more minutes, I think. So I'm going to keep going until somebody stops me. What's going on? Talk to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can feel free just to raise your hand or just unmute yourself. I see Tim's hand and Extian's hand. Tim, over to you, and then Extian. Tim?
This whole concept of future pacing. What does my audience know, remember, feel in the year, 6 months, 2 months down the line from the impact I left. That resonates and sits beautifully with when transformation is a key focus. Is it stickable?
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Future pacing is awesome. I have a story about future pacing that if I have time, I'll tell. It's kind of magical. Yeah.
XTM, over to you, and then Karimi. XTM?
I think it's one thing that's for me that I need to figure out is how to be fun. I'm always too serious for my own good. And so I've made a note for myself. Remember to smile and then get a few questions out there that can make it sound like you're fun.
Perfect. Do you need help? Do you need help brainstorming that?
Always.
Okay, who knows Eckstein and who can help him come up with a couple of questions that people will go, oh, that's interesting. Like you want the Scooby-Doo response. You want people to say, you want to say something to people like, so what makes you irresistible? And people go, Don Cooper, you're brilliant at this. You are a genius at this. Unmute. I know you don't know Eckstein yet, but what's something that, Eckstein, what's your topic?
Why people fight and why we should keep it, we should keep it nice.
Oh my God. There are entire sitcoms built around that concept. This is a tremendous opportunity for humor. So what's funny about conflict? And what's funny about being nice? Because you're talking about something that people don't want, conflict. And something they do want. People want others to be nicer with them, around them, because of them. You've got all kinds of potential there. What is an example from your own life when conflict was funny or resolving conflict was funny?
Beautiful. Don, Eckstein, here's what I would do. Just a thought. Thanks, Don. Thanks, love. One of the things that I would do you ever use cartoons in your programs? Do you use cartoons or funny graphics or fun pictures?
Yeah, mainly sort of stick figure kind of stuff, yeah.
Okay, so what I have been doing, because I'm a golden retriever mom, is I would have two golden retrievers fighting over a ball and ask, I thought this was mine. Right?
Yeah.
I thought that this is mine. No, this is mine. And then have a big grown-up hand come in, a human hand, and go, no, babies, it's mine. Right? And just do something about conflict that could be really super fun. That's just off the top of my head. Karimi, thanks, Eckstein. I hope that helps. And you can always reach out to me, by the way, you guys. This is my fun, happy place, brainstorming with speakers, because we've got to be fun. Because if we're not fun, they can reach out, they can go. You can go watch the news on YouTube. Please don't, but you can. So, if we're not fun, why do they need us? Karimi, you had your hand up, honey?
Karimi, you had your hand up and then Tendai. Karimi,
Yeah,
you?
I had my hand up and then I actually put it down because I thought I got the answer, but maybe let me just speak it out because it was also about this concept of fun, right? I think that word also made me think, oh, okay. Fun is subjective in some contexts. Does it mean funny? Do I need to be funny? Is it about being energetic? And it almost felt like it needed to be contrived, and that was sitting uncomfortable with me. It's like, what if my topic isn't necessarily funny or fun or high energy? What do you do in that context? I think you've explained it, that it's more about how you present it and what visuals and some of the other perspectives.
You can have people stare at each other until they laugh. Literally, in any context, you could have people, I've done it, where people just say, okay, now look at the person next to you and stare at their right ear. Now stare at their left ear. What did you see that's different? People crack up. I mean, you can just do so just for connection, right? What fun creates is connection for other people, right? A connection in the group, connection. So without fun, there's very little connection, I find. Okay.
Yeah, connection helps to explain it. Yeah, it's that,
yeah.
The humanity in all of us, which is less serious. And
when people go to a comedy club, it's because they want to be in the club with other people, because laughing together creates connection. And that's our job, is to create connections, to handle survival, create connection, and help them enhance their reputation. Those are three of the points that I speak on, okay? Survival, You cannot be in enhancement. You cannot be in enhancement and survival at the same time. So how do you create, handle their survival, create connection, and then enhance their reputation? Okay. Diana, actually, Dawn, you got something on what I just said? I know you do.
Yeah, one of the things when we talk about fun, what we're trying to be as speakers is not boring. A great way to do that is to tell stories. So what are your stories about your topic? Why do you speak about your topic? So there's a story there. What are the stories from your childhood, from your adulthood? What are the mistakes you made? What are the things you screwed up on? People love to hear that. We think we've got to tell everybody how great we are and how amazing we are. No, how did you screw up? I want to hear that. That's fun because that is entertaining while it's educational. And it makes me feel better that I've had the same screw up. I did the exact same thing that you did. Oh my God, I can relate. That relating is fun. What are the stories that your friends tell that relate to your topic? There are stories all around you, and stories are a lot of fun. So you don't have to be funny per se, but having fun means entertaining the audience, and stories are a great way to do that.
Make sure your story is about them, though. Make sure in the end, when you're telling a story about you, I've heard, I've emceed conferences, medical, pharma, and biotech, lots of them. And I hear a lot of stories. And the stories, if they're so heavy, because I know a lot of us speak on heavy topics and a lot of things that are intense, but make sure you bring your story back to having it be relatable to them and that it works, you know what I mean? That it's about them. Don't tell the woe is me story. And the thing I learned decades ago is if you haven't processed it yet, if it's going to make you cry on stage, don't tell it yet. This happened to me once after I lost my dad. I was doing a program and I hadn't talked about my dad. And I was in front of an audience and I started telling a story about my dad because it was relevant to the audience. And all of a sudden I started to cry and I took a breath and I said, you know what? And this is a really good time for us to share about XYZ. I don't know what it was. And I had to stop. So I won't do that again until I've processed it with, Nirvine or a really good therapist that I have in my own back pocket. Okay. And then we got Diana, and then we're going to move on to the next piece.
I just quickly want to ask Tendai was just ahead. Tendai, you are just unmuted. If you can just, sorry, you're muted, Tendai. If you can unmute yourself, and then Diane. Tendai?
Audio now unmuted alert.
Thank you. Confirm you can hear me.
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
From
Thank you.
Carolyn Strauss.
Oops. Thank you, Carolyn.
The
Yes,
host has
for me,
spotlight.
what stood out in your presentation, I'm still yet to get into that space of being a professional speaker. I've heard this one story for a long time, which I've always been
Your internet
delivering. And what you challenge me is to try and be creative in terms of experimenting in terms of my story. So thank you for that. That really stood out for me in your presentation.
You are so welcome. So my question for you, Tendai, is do you have a mastermind group or mastermind partners who are speaking that can help you craft your story and pull out the pieces that you can't see for yourself? I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Don Cooper. He is one of my sounding boards where I say, okay, I want to tell this new story. How do I make it relevant to this point, to this audience? So we've got to have those people because you can't see the jar of mayonnaise from inside the jar. None of us can. We cannot see our own stuff. Somebody just asked, Karimi just asked, how do you find a mastermind group? You join the PSASA virtual, you go to PSASA in person if it's available to you in Cape Town or Pretoria or Johannesburg, and you meet people there. Seriously, you guys can just say, hey, can we meet up once every 2 weeks or once a month? And spend an hour to an hour and a half, like this meeting is 90 minutes. For you guys to invest 90 minutes is huge. And that's my goal, is to give you something that you can't get anywhere else and that's valuable to your business. But spend 90 minutes, 60, 90 minutes. Each person take 20 to 30 minutes and really mastermind. I mean, Brad and Joni Petty and I did that when I was in Johannesburg, before he moved to Cape Town. Can't wait to see your new house, sweetheart. Right? But we did that, and we masterminded over the most amazing lunch in Johannesburg. So that's kind of how it works, is you reach out and create it for yourself, Karimi. Okay. All right, let's move on, because this is going by way too fast. I hope it is for you.
I'm sorry,
Louis, tell
Carolyn,
me.
Diana had her hand up. I just want to give her an
Oh,
opportunity.
Diana, of course. I'm sorry.
Diana, over to you.
Thank you. I'll be quick. Caroline, I just want to say yes, the human connection in having fun. As a laughter coach, one of the exercises I do with people is for them to sit with a stranger, look each other in the eye, and just laugh together without speaking any words. And that is such a powerful, powerful connection that they make during that little short session. So yes, I just wanted to confirm that that is something that I do, and people really, really enjoy the human connection there.
Thanks, Diana. I really hope you tell the stranger what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be put in a straitjacket before you do that experiment. I hope you set some context, but thank you for sharing. Okay, good. Next, I just imagine somebody coming up, sitting in front of me and laughing at me. I mean, it's like, that is going to be super fun. Okay.
No, sorry, I must just tell you as well, this is when I present laughter sessions to an audience.
Okay.
So it's not just walking up to strangers.
That would be super fun. Dawn, great idea. I love that. Okay. All right, you guys. So I want to go to the next slide really quick. I have 15 minutes. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. You guys are so on top of it. I just love you. Okay. For those of you who were not with me last year, so I know I keep coming back to this, but the honor of my life was keynoting at the Professional Speakers Association of South Africa conference in 2024. It's where I met so many of you. I do feel like the South Africa PSA is my speaking home. So I'll show up here with you guys anytime it's humanly possible. And Juanita, thank you, my love, for inviting me to come play at PSA SA. It's all because of you that I was there. So I love you, sweetheart. How are the Takis? Good. Okay, I brought her a whole suitcase full of goodies. And then I got to the hotel and she gave me a whole suitcase full of South African goodies. I cannot wait to come back. Anyway, moving on. I just want to share this because these things have not changed since last year. Okay, this is so for Tendai, who is new to the speaking, for those of us who've been doing it for decades like me, I have to remind myself of these things all the time. Okay, first of all, how do I get so good on stage that people get to have me back? Okay, full disclosure, my outbound marketing is horrible. It's gotten better with LinkedIn and LinkedIn connections, but it's horrible. Stephanie and I are working on making that better. Thank you, Steph. But it's not good. The reason I would say that, Dawn, about 80 to 90% of my work is repeat business, right? It's because people like me. Because I'm fun and I've got the fundamentals and it's interesting and it's creative. And by the way, you guys notice that I don't have a script for this? I have barely an outline for this program because what I want to deliver anytime I'm in front of an audience is what I feel after experiencing them and feeling them that they will most benefit from. Okay, so how do you get so good on stage that clients get to have you back? Practice, go to Rotary clubs, go to Lions clubs. You guys have that in South Africa, right, Louis? You guys have Rotary and stuff. Oh my God, they need a speaker every week. Some of them meet every week. There's Toastmasters. There's Toastmasters in SA, right? Great. Go practice. Go get stage time. Set up your camera. If you're going to do a lot of virtual programs for people, set up your camera in your office, create a backdrop, an imaginary backdrop, and here's an idea I've never thought of before. Find a client you want to work with. Do a 5-minute presentation for them in your office, on your Zoom. Put their logo as your backdrop. Send it to the meeting planner and say, hey, I was just thinking about your upcoming meeting. I wonder if this could be helpful. It's bold. It's risky. I'm going to do that as soon as we hang up because I have full hair and makeup on, right? So come on, you guys, we've got to take a risk. Otherwise, we look like everybody else. Okay. So get so good on stage that people want to have you back. That's been my key to success in this business, honestly. Next one. Here is the thing that people will pay for. Ask yourself with your topic, how does this topic save people time, make them money, enhance their reputation, or generate connection for them? Even if it's tough topic, even if it's sexual identity, even if it's, overcoming abuse, whatever it is, it's going to help them in one of these areas, save time, maybe from circling in their heads, right? Increase their money. Does this help them make money? Don Cooper's brilliant at that. Enhance reputation and generate connection. Okay. Next question. How are you leveling yourself up? I spent the money. I did not speak in Dublin. I spent the thousands of dollars it took for me to, get on a plane, get a hotel room for a week, and attend a global conference so that I know what my clients don't know, right? I want to always stay one step ahead from my clients. And then finally, is this fun for you? I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is really fun for me. Sharing with the speaking community, with my South African family. This is fun for me. Tim, can you tell that it's fun for me? I mean, this is a blast. So how is this fun? And can you have fun? Because when you have fun, other people will have fun. Okay, got it? So let's take down that slide, please. Can you make it so that I can share? There we go. Hold on. Maybe I can now. I want to share. There we go. I want to share with you guys the results of your irresistibility index. Y'all seen it? This is you all. This is the PSASA group. So I want to tell you that 4 of you are simply irresistible. Congratulations. I want to say that most of you all are highly irresistible. Okay. Some of you are mildly. And I think one of you guys is really hard on yourself, in my opinion. But I just wanted to show you guys, I created the irresistibility index, okay, in 1 week. This was created in 1 week. This is your chart for this audience. Now, you are the first group of speakers I've ever done this with. I did it with a group of CEOs who, by the way, gave me an idea which was so amazing that they said, Carolyn, I like those questions, turn them into a 360 so that I can give it to my team members so that they can tell me how irresistible I am. I thought, oh my God, that's the next iteration of this for me. I did it for a group of small business owners when I was speaking at a chamber of commerce, another great place to test your material because I'd never done this live before. I tested it with them. They loved it. And then you guys. So let me tell you where this idea came from. I had never created something that was mine. Brad, I know you have, right? You have an assessment and that kind of thing. You've created something like this. I never have created, like I've used the Working Genius assessment and I've used the exactly what to say stuff. But I'd never created my own. And I thought, if I'm going to level up and I'm going to reinvent myself, I'm going to take a risk. And the risk I'm going to take is to create an assessment and see how it went. So I have 2 questions for you. Oh, thank you, Tendai. 2 questions for you. First, What did you think of the survey, and do you see it as useful for an audience if I'm going to teach them about irresistibility? That's question number one. And the more important question is, I have created a product. If you want to put up the next slide for me, Louis, please. Super important. I created a product for you guys. I worked with a friend of mine named Eric Larson. Eric is a CTO. He's a fractional CTO now, but he's been a CTO for years and a strategic advisor. So taking his technology background and combining it with his strategic advisory business, he's one of my most brilliant friends. And he helped me create the Irresistibility Index in 1 week. I had a speech for that small business group, and I thought, I need something to hang my hat on. Help me. And in 1 week, I, of course, created the context for it, the outcome for it, all of that. But he created the technology. After we created that, he said, you know that I could help other people do this with your help. And I said, we could do this together. So the slide that you're looking at, y'all, and Tim is already in. Okay, if the QR code has an error, please go to the link. The link is in the chat. Go to the chat. I'm so sorry that the QR code has an error. Again, this is an experiment, y'all. So what this is we are creating a cohort. There are 5 requirements for playing with us in the cohort. Not one of them is money. In 7 days, starting this Friday at 5:30 p.m. or 17:30 as y'all call it in South Africa, 5:30 p.m. South Africa time, which is 9:30 a.m. Mountain time in the US, we are actually going to start Friday, then the following Monday, then the following Friday, and in 1 week, we will help you create a distinct survey/offering like my Irresistibility Index that you can use immediately with your clients. We're going to charge $1,500 US for it. That's the plan. But we need a proof of concept, you guys. We need to run a cohort that is a proof of concept, and for you, you're it. If you choose to play, we will start with 6 people. If we don't have 6 people, we probably won't do it, so you'll hear from us. But we need 6, and we can't really do more than 12. In case you didn't hear it, there was the FOMO. If you don't register now, you might miss out. And I'm not saying it that way. It's just the way life works, right? We have space for up to 12 speakers who want to create something. Seriously, you guys, Tim is already registered. When we had our conversation about, can I offer this to you guys? Tim said, I'm in. I want this. So let's open it up. If you guys have questions about this, I am charging you all nothing, but there is a requirement. We need you to be available. So please don't do it if you can't be available for the live sessions, because we're not recording it. Okay, because this is a participatory cohort. So you have to be available 5:30 p.m. on Friday the 19th, the following Monday, the following Friday. Okay, 90 minutes. So that's one of the requirements. It just is what it is, okay? You have to be willing to give us an assessment of each of the sessions. You have to be willing to give us a video testimonial. Remember I said feedback? And remember I said how video feedback is so important. By the way, I didn't plan any of that to tie into this offer. That is not how it works. But Don Cooper knows how my brain works, and it's just PFM, and it works every time, right? Which is pure effing magic. Okay, so we are gonna request a video testimonial on how the process worked for you. So Diana, I'm so sorry if you're not available, but you'll hear from other people in PSA, I'm sure, who are part of the cohort. So now I'm gonna leave that slide up. If you guys want to go to the view, everybody, gallery side by side so everybody can see everybody. I mean, I know I'm pinned and I can stay pinned, that's fine. But I really want you guys to be able to see each other. And so 3 minutes till this is for all the time I have left for questions too, right? Terry, right? Lewis, do I have 3 minutes left total?
Yep.
All right, you guys.
Repeat the dates. Carolyn, would you mind repeating
the dates
Monday?
are this coming Friday, which I believe is the 19th. Is that right?
No.
And then Tim, what are the dates? Find them for me, darling. Friday, Monday, Friday. Because I don't want you to have to wait. I want a product. I'm really impatient and the world is moving fast. Like I said, I want this done in a week and a half. Louis, go.
Friday the 16th, Monday the 19th, and Friday the 23rd.
90-minute sessions.
16th, 19th, and 23rd.
16th, 19th, and 23rd, and they will start exactly at 5:30 South Africa time PM and go until 7 PM. Talk to me. Open your mics and talk to me, you guys. We don't have any time.
This is powerful. This is beyond powerful to have a unique model that is done with you, not for you, that Carolyn's going to help us design this so you can go to a client with something that nobody else has got to help you stand out and stand up. This is huge.